Hey everybody, welcome to another video. It's your English teacher Mohammed, and today I wanted to do more of a discussion about a particular topic. A friend of mine wanted me to do a video about how in the native English speaking world, a lot of people seem to misuse the word literally, and they use it to mean figuratively when the definition of literally is when we're using the literal meaning of what we're saying. Now, um, I originally intended for this video to be more of a rant, or maybe I thought that I was going to agree with my friend here. But as I was doing some more research into this topic, I realized that I firstly I don't see that maybe that people are using literally wrong. It is true. I have experienced it myself. I've experienced people, especially on YouTube or in movies and series, people will just say, I literally just like couldn't get any sleep last night, right? I literally couldn't get, obviously they did have some sleep, but if they literally didn't get any sleep last night, it means they had zero sleep, but they might have had a few hours of sleep. And for them, that means they literally didn't sleep. So my friend, he was getting annoyed at, that kind of usage. The question is, how often do people actually do that? And secondly, is it actually a problem? Is it a problem if people do that, or are they actually not misusing the language in the first place? So that's something I wanted to explore today. So let's first show what I'm talking about. Um, Firstly, I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to show Youglish, which is, if you're really wanting to know how language is used, then this is a fantastic website because basically you can type in any phrase and then you can see how, you can see examples of that phrase from YouTube, right? And there are millions of hours of content on YouTube. So if the phrase is there, then it's probably very natural and so on. So if we have a look at this first one, right?
You literally, your office, because I've been with you in it, is literally right there. Right.
So here he's making the point that his office was right next to the World Trade Center, literally right there. So in the mind, he's describing it as like directly next to each other. And I guess that's what he's getting at. So he's using literally correctly there. And he's trying to make it like he's saying the most obvious meaning. So when we use literally, we're pointing to the most obvious meaning of the words of the previous expression. Hmm.
And literally engage
Yeah, I don't know what that one means, so let's leave that one. The next one, all right.
is literally the sparking and the controlling of a self-sustaining synthetic star.
So maybe this is probably where we come into contact. I think this video they're talking about the nuclear fusion reactor, and in the nuclear fusion reactor, you're doing the same thing that's happening in the stars, right? And so this is why he's saying it's literally like a self-sustaining synthetic star. Um, but it's not a star, it's a machine. And it's not a synthetic star, it's just doing a similar reaction. Maybe this is an example where he's using literally, but he's really being figurative rather than literal. But at the same time, it's a bit hard to say. It feels like he used it correctly, in my opinion. But still, the maybe that's something my friend might be annoyed with. Um,
Function. Without it, we literally can't interface with others. We can't hatch plans and climb that stairway of popularity.
I think she's talking about, something to do with obviously this is all out of context, so you kind of have to, you can actually look at the context.
We can't
If
function
we
replicated
go back a few
because the
seconds.
self likes to fit,
Mm,
to see itself replicated, to belong. That confirms its existence and its importance. And it is important. It has an extremely important function. Without it, we literally can't interface with others.
Okay, so she's talking about, I guess, the ego, and how if you don't have an ego, we don't have a user interface, so to speak, a UI to talk with others. Now, this is a bit strange, I guess, because this is more metaphorical, ego and interfacing with others. This is more metaphorical, but she's trying to say that it's literal. So so she's making a figurative point, but she's using the word literally. So maybe this is another example where people are using figuratively instead of literally, but it feels right. When I'm listening to her saying this, it feels right, you know. Just one more example before I go on. I want to explore an article. So,
better. Without him, I never could have played Joe Biden. Literally. Hi, I'm Joe Biden.
I guess, when I first looked at these videos before, I was like, huh, yeah, they're all using it correctly. But now I feel like they are using it figuratively. But it turns out that literally has always been figurative. It turns out that oh no, I didn't want to do that. Let's see. There it is. I just wanted to increase the size. So it turns out that literally might have always been figurative, right? So but there are some people that don't like it, like my friend, and I guess I disagree with him in that way. It's really interesting article that goes into the discussion about the English language, because the English language is rather complicated. We have expressions that can mean one thing and its opposite at the same time. A really simple one is dusting. You can dust, like you dust cake, you dust some sprinkling on cake. So maybe you put some gold dust on cake, right? Or you dust dusty furniture, which means you're removing the dust. So you can either add powder or remove the powder. And dusting, the verb dusting can be used in both senses. Or like oversight. Oversight can mean paying attention very carefully over something, or it can mean ignoring it, not seeing it, right? And so, the English language the word oversight can be used in both ways, the manager's oversight over the company allowed it to thrive, or because of the manager's oversight, the company failed. And here we're using the word oversight in different ways, and yet, yeah. And so it seems that literally has in its meaning figurative, because as this article is going into, the original meaning of the word literal was to talk about the alphabetic letters of words. But when the word literal was actually first used, apparently in the 1500s, it was used to not talk about the letters, but rather about the meaning represented by the words, which are represented by the letters. So when we were talking about literal, we were trying to refer to the meaning of the words, and that's kind of how the word literal and literally is evolved from. So it's an interesting one, I guess. With any language, it's important to see how people really use it, because I think, instead of fighting the current, it's how do I put it? I have my own way of speaking. I have my own way of, when I use the word literal or literally, I am trying to point to the most obvious meaning of something. Or if I'm being metaphorical, I don't like to use the word literal. But then a lot of people are different. So is my approach wrong? Are other native speakers wrong? I mean, I think that there's definitely room for different styles of speaking. So from that perspective, using literally as figurative is probably not a wrong thing. Yeah. But maybe if you were conservative and old fashioned, like my friend and I, then maybe you would find that, yeah, we like to just use literally when we need to use it to make the meaning more obvious. Yeah. Well, that was my little discussion about the meaning of literal. If you found this useful, or if you have any questions about anything I said, please feel free to leave those questions in the comments, and I will definitely respond. And of course, if you like this video and want to see more content like it, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you another day for another lesson. See you later. Bye.